Meeting. This is the Board of Public Works meeting, Monday, June 3rd, 2024. It's a little after 6, and we're in the DPW Media Room at 965 Plain Street. We have two action items. Annual reappointment of the town engineer. Hi, Rod. Septic system hauler permit for JC Engineering, DBA Wing Company. We're going to have a discussion on indirect cost calculations. And number 2, potential for sewer expansion costs and repairs. This all relates to planning component.
Yeah.
We're going to vote to accept the minutes of May 13th and the 20th, 2024. Have a discussion on superintendent's report. And our next meeting will be June 24th, 2024. So the first item is reappointment of the town engineer.
He has something in the book.
No, do I have a
Second.
second? All in favor of accepting the agenda?
Aye.
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 Okay, first item from Sean Patterson. Reappointment of town engineer Rod Procasino.
That's a no-brainer.
Rod Procasino's been here before I was, 2002.
40 years.
And he's been
He's
town
excep-
engineer since 2003, I think, or 4.
He's exceptional.
He's been here 40 years?
Yes.
Wow. So is this, how old is this the only job he's had?
He's 60.
No.
No, he was, I think he's like a scientist.
He's got a brief
I don't
time
know, I just
working
don't
out
think-
at the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard.
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't look that old though.
No, he's 65. He's a couple of years older than me.
Yeah,
He's awesome.
he's the best asset the town of Marshfield has.
Mm.
Right, on record on cable TV to say that too.
Hands
Without
down.
Rod Procasino, this town would be in tough shape.
Couldn't agree more.
All right. Do I have a second to, I nominate,
There's a
I'll do the
motion.
motion. The Board of Public Works motions to reappoint Roderick Procasino as town engineer for fiscal year 2025. The term starting July 1st, 2024 and ending on June 30th, 2025.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's the best appointment we could ever make. Dave Carey will attest to that.
Absolutely. Had
Absolutely.
the privilege of working for him and having him work for me.
All right, next item is new septic hauler permit. We have one, John L. Churchill Jr., Wing Company. I'm gonna make the motion, and then if you have any questions. I make the motion to authorize approval of the new septic hauler permit for John L. Churchill Jr. of Wing Company. Any discussion?
No, he's been vetted out by the, who was that, Clint Stetson?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's all signed off. Wastewater Division. No, that's the only,
All right, good. I make a motion to, a motion stands. I have a second on the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those are the two items on action items.
these all,
The next item, next two items are discussion items. First item is indirect cost calculations. John Kuzak,
yeah, well,
I'll hand it over to you.
it's in your, it's in your book, I don't know, number 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is what we need to know. In reality, we have to see what the total budget, what numbers are they using? Are they using the total town budget? Are they using the budget list of schools? Are they using a payroll budget? Are they using, on the payroll budget, are they using the 35% for benefits? If that's the case, then we use that for then we have to use our payroll and 35% budgets. We want to see the tally sheets. I'd like to sit down, the staff, and get somebody from And they gotta be Della Russo. I don't think this new guy could do it. And let's see what they're using. Show us the numbers. Show us what are you using? How you coming to these percentages? I know how to do it, but I come up with different percentages because I don't know what they're using for a number. So we really gotta see a tally sheet. Sit down with them and say, you know, are you flipping back and forth from percent of budget, then would use our percent of budget in the enterprise? Or are they using the town budget less the schools, which doubles the percent? So there's really, they come up with the cost, but they don't show us how they arrived at it. We should sit down with them on these indirects and say, okay, let's sit down, put your numbers out. We got our numbers.
I have talked to them, and I think the way to do this is to invite them here to our office, have you come along, and you can ask whatever questions you want.
Well, have them come along with the information.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, I
They're gonna
mean, I
pro-
could ask the questions.
I'm gonna ask them what they do and how they're gonna do it, and bring the information with them. I'll set up a time and a date where you can come along and ask the questions that you wanna ask.
Yeah, but bring the tally sheet, what they've used prior. See, it's 2 years ago. They don't use the current fiscal year. They use 2 years back.
You want me to reach out to Patrick and ask him if he do it?
Well, Patrick knows how to do it. I just want to see what he uses. Yeah, right? Go ahead.
I'd like to put your question.
Go ahead, Dave.
Dave Carrier, 30 Broadlook Road. As you know, when I was on the board, and Darcy was, both he and I would share, I did the spreadsheet based on that latest guidelines from the DOR, which basically said use the whole town budget.
Correct.
Okay, and, you know, we know that would have amounted to $300,000 odd in that given year, you know, using the history, less indirect charges. You know, you're gonna run into two issues. One was raised by the town council saying to me the school department would be all upset about that, which I think is bogus because the school department has fiscal autonomy. Their budget is not impacted. You know, if we're gonna lose $300,000 from the general fund that had been in indirects, you know, the first place it's gonna go for is to DPW to take it back, you know, cutting our budget. You know, the DPW budget, not our budget anymore, for me, but, you know, I think the bottom line you have is, I would approach the new gentleman. He may not be fully up to school on that latest DOR guideline, you know, and because he is doing the job, he may look to it, and, you know, you have right now, you know, one board member on the select board that will support using the whole town budget. And the person that's up for reelection might feel like they should get in line to help their election bid.
The methodology that they've created it shows to use the total town budget.
Yeah, but I think this new guy, he's Sean Strobel. He knows what's going on. He's pretty well educated.
This is a new treasurer?
Yeah. And I
What's his
think Sean Strobel.
Yeah.
He actually wants to sit down and talk about it.
All right,
So if you let me
yeah.
do it this way, I'll bring him here, and then you can have a chance to talk to him. I think it's worthwhile.
So will you come to a regular board meeting?
I'll ask him. I gotta see him tomorrow.
I think,
No, I want a meeting, I don't want a meeting with the board. I want a meeting with the staff and this person. I want to sit down right across from me and
Yeah.
let me see what you used. And
Dan
then
and
we
I know what
can,
you want.
well, of course.
Let John be there.
I've
That's
been
what I'm
asking,
saying.
I've been asking for years.
No, I understand. What I'm saying is, let John be there, and then we can come to
Yeah.
to the board,
Yeah,
and we have a full discussion.
that's
I
okay.
want
Okay
to
with that?
ask
Yeah.
for a meet,
Yeah.
I want to ask for the meeting here and have you here to ask whatever you want to ask. An open forum discussion.
Yeah, but with that, it's not a board meeting.
No, it's not.
Right,
Okay,
right.
good.
oh, a
So-
meeting.
So you can have a
No, it's
meeting
not.
in the offices,
Yeah.
once you
Meeting
get
upstairs.
it all straightened
It's a
out.
staff meeting, and I'm
Staff
inviting a
meeting, okay.
member of the board to come.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yeah,
Diane, you good with that?
Yeah, I think that
Good.
you should have the new guy. I mean, I don't know if you wanna have Patrick too, but I think you should have the new guy. It's his job.
I think it's courtesy.
I mean, we should
Yeah.
call him the new guy. It's kind
No,
of, he
sure.
has a
And he's
name.
very, very good. He's actually very, very smart.
Yeah.
And he's trying to fix things, and he actually didn't encourage the discussion to talk about it, because he was open to it, so.
So I got a
I'm gonna take
question.
advantage of that.
You named Patrick more than once, but what's his last name?
Those,
Delarusso.
yeah, he was the former treasurer.
You want him to, is he?
No, I'm gonna ask Sean
Let's have-
Stoll.
Well, he's currently on the capital.
Because
budget
John
committee.
mentioned both of them.
Oh,
that's why.
Patrick's on the, oh, he's, okay. Is he still living in town?
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
No.
but
I
he's
thought he
over,
was great.
he's over in Taunton, I think he's the,
He's
Canton.
the chief financial officer.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
He'll never come back to Marshfield as a
I have a
town
comment.
employee. Go ahead.
So I think it would be helpful if they brought the last, few years
He intends.
as well, like not just what you're gonna do going forward, but looking at what's been done.
Yeah,
No, I've already talked to him, he's willing to do that.
the tally sheets.
Yeah. I gotta sit down with him tomorrow about some other stuff, and I'll mention it to him and try and set that up.
Yeah, okay, I said that.
And then after that, he can come to a board meeting and present what,
We'll see, let's start with this.
okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll start with this, but then when there's an answer to this, I would like to,
Well, you're gonna know.
know it,
I
so.
he's the one, John's the one who's been on this for a while, and
Yeah.
he asked me about it, so I'm gonna set this up.
And then we'll get like a report of that meeting or some kind of
We'll get something.
information on
Yeah.
it, so we'll,
Fine.
so I mean,
We're
I'll
gonna be there.
understand well, he will, but we're not gonna be there.
No,
No, we're gonna bring it back to you.
Okay, all right, that's my question.
yeah, fine.
All right,
You good with that, John?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, good.
Okey dokey.
So you guys, so the plan is that you're gonna set it up, John's gonna be there, you're gonna iron out stuff, and they can come back and report to the board.
Yes,
That-
we did something similar to that when you were on that.
Oh, we did more than that when I was,
Yeah.
oh,
But I wanna approach that way first.
okay, fine.
That's good, thanks, Bob.
Okay, next item is, for discussion is sewers. Costs, repairs, expansion, 40B, MBTA, Route 139 sewer line.
Well,
Let's have a discussion.
all of that, plus, what I was interested in is that the sewer in the beach area, where we have 5,000, 10,000 square foot lots, and I'll give you an example, there's one on 12th Road. I mean, there's so many examples, it's embarrassing. The house got knocked down, it was assessed for 500,000, it's on 12th Road. When it was rebuilt as a McMansion, the assessment went up to 1.1 mil. So it more than doubled. So that doubled, that brought in the tax rate, the tax base went up. And that happens over and over and over and over again. That the only way that they can do these McMansions is that they have the town sewer. So the town sewer has directly impacted the tax base. And we need to know by how much, at least a general idea, so that we can get an agreement where we have a major repair such as Plymouth Ave and other, it's 50 years old, the system. We need the town to chip in, whether it's 50-50, 60-40, but we have to show them. And Libby Bates would do it. Libby Bates, you can take the whole tax information, the tax base, whatever you want, all the houses, everything. You can get it from the assessors on a thumb drive. Used to be able to get it on the CD. Now put it on the thumb drive. We get someone that's good. My son's good at Excel, but I know Libby Bates could do it. And you go through the thing and you can ask it, on this column we want this percent on that. You can come up and show that the town sewer has impacted the tax base tremendously. I would say at least 45%.
So in the beach area, that house will, the tax revenue bringing into the town would be double.
Right,
But the sewer would be the same as the old house.
That-
That's what he's trying to get at.
But the issue is that there's a benefit for having a good sewer system because we have beaches, we have rivers, and we have, septic systems. I was looking at it from the standpoint of, what's leaching into the South River from Ken Park, from the hill up there, and that it's ruining the estuary. But even more so, if these MBTA high-density housing, it's not, every freaking project's gonna be 56 units up and down 139, and there's no sewer, but it's in the water protection district. And how are we gonna deal with that?
Can I add something?
Sure.
I think where John's going with this, correct me if I'm wrong, is that our sewer enterprise is not gonna be able to handle the
I
amount of
agree.
work that needs to be done and the cost of everything.
Go bankrupt.
Exactly. So we need to do something to be self-sufficient and do the upgrades that we need to do to be compliant and to touch on what you're talking about, the pollution aspect of it. We're not gonna be able to afford to do it without doing some kind of a split. I totally agree with you on that one, John.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I'm looking at it from a standpoint, we won't have any water to support any of the development that they're looking at if we don't have a sewer system. And it'll end up being, like, what'd you say, 40% of the town is on sewer now? It might be 65% of the town on sewer when we finally get all said and done. So, it's gonna get there. And it's the revenue that's gonna come in and, that they're looking at from all this development. We need to expand the sewer. And we
Right.
need to have a good revenue source. So I'm in full agreement with that. But
I think before you do any type of expansion, you gotta rehab what you have. It's been too far gone.
Yeah.
And the only way to do it is what you
is it
said.
the lines or is it the treatment system?
The treatment system, it needs some work, but it's the collection system.
The collection system.
Yeah.
I'd
David.
add something. One of the repair techniques we were using, the cured in place polyester pipe, if that contains PFAS, I'm sure. And therefore, as you go forward, if there's gonna be regulation on, public sewer systems on their amount of discharge, that's taking away that technique of repair that doesn't require replacing full lines. So there's, things are getting more complicated. The other thing would be, if PFAS regulations come in wastewater, which I think is inevitable at some point, all of the sewer, a lot of the septic systems out there are gonna wanna be connected to the sewer system.
Well, that's coming.
That's coming.
We gotta play
We gotta be
catch up.
proactive, we gotta.
right, to have a basis
gotta-
for,
Gotta start now,
Yeah.
at least find
So,
out.
We
yeah,
need some additional financial help
Yeah.
to bring the system up to standard. I'm not saying it needs work, and there's just no way you can dump it all in the
So who do we
ratepayers.
talk to? Who's gonna agree to this?
do we hire a consultant to do a master,
That's a
update
good
the master
idea,
plan?
that's a good idea, Bobby.
It is a
Update
good
the-
idea, and I think I'm gonna go back to my joint meeting thing with the select board and the Board of Public Works. I think you need to sit down with
yes,
them to broach this idea, because you're gonna need help to get it through. And I think, to me, the way I feel about it, I don't live here, but I live in a town that has sewer, and we pay for it as well, taxpayers. It's a town entity. It's something that the town, it's an investment. So everybody should be paying for it and upkeeping it. To dump it on the ratepayers, no one's gonna wanna pay that kind of money, and if it keeps going up, people are gonna leave. So I agree with you 100% when you talked to me about that the other day.
So I'd like to put this idea to you and staff, and have the rest of the board chime in. We should, because of the current conditions of PFAS, because of the 40Bs, because of the MBTA component, was none of that was actually in the master plan when we actually updated it, probably 15 years ago.
Okay.
I think that we should really start planning and hire a consultant to assist engineering in order to update the master plan with all these current
It's being
conditions and
done now.
environmental issues,
The master plan is being
the
worked on
master
now.
plan.
I have some comments.
With a number of phases. Phase one would be existing condition, coming up with cost analysis and what the existing condition, both on collection and treatment, and what is the potential that we could add to the treatment system. Second would be the immediate component of those areas that are affecting South River and the 40B. And the third component would be the future expansion if this MBTA component ever went through, or other developments like that.
You gotta back up first and sit down and figure out how you're gonna fund it. And I think you're gonna have one of the first discussions you have, this is just me speaking. One of the first discussions you have to have is how to arrange a split.
Right.
Because we can go nowhere without that.
Well, the planning board is pushing the 40B on us, the selectmen are pushing the 40B on us,
Then we
they're
can sit
pushing the
down.
MBTA piece on us. I mean,
This board has to sit down with that board and come to a conclusion.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm like raising my hand. No, I think after you have the meeting with John and the treasurer, and you come up with, I'm hoping, some kind of a better understanding, right, of that piece, and then do a study of the, how exactly the tax base has been affected with the sewer. Then have that joint, then put together, you know, your list of, our list of priorities, right? And then have the joint meeting. And say, okay, well, this is how the money should be handled, this is how the budget, you know, should be handled, and this is what the town is, the increase that the town has gotten from the sewer system, and this is what our split should be, and this is what we need to do with it, with these priorities.
I agree.
So, because if we have a joint meeting before we have those answers, it's just gonna go around in circles.
what we've been
Do
doing.
you know what I mean? And we've been going around in circles.
Well, look, Libby Bates, I keep on coming back to her, she's over in Pembroke. She will.
What did she do?
She was the assessor.
Assessor.
She will, I've talked to her about it. She will do, she could be our consultant on what, the sewer, in other words, a house on, she could take a house, all the houses that impacted the tax base. She already told me she could do that. And that would show the town, say, look, listen, this is how much it's elevated your tax base.
You should talk to her then. If the rest of the board wants you to do that, I mean, that's not
I
a
mean,
bad idea, she does know the
You want me
town.
to, I have her email, do you want me to ask her again?
You want to know what the incremental difference, because of all the rehabilitation of all the cottages to how, for the amount of
Because
houses has done on the tax base.
there's one across from St. Anne's, 3,700 square foot property. I actually did the winterization and opened it up. It had no inside shower, had no heat. It had a small bathroom, lavatory, kitchen sink. That's it, 2 bedrooms. Small little place. They bought it, knocked it down, built a McMansion, and the assessment was like $200,000. The assessment went to like $700,000. 3,700 square foot lot, all because of the town sewer.
Can she do that going all the way back?
Yeah, she can
And
do it. It's
Give a figure like this is
You
what,
could-
this is what with,
you could
how
do
the
it on
tax
an
base
Excel.
has increased
no, some of
since,
the,
or,
look, you can get this, you get the whole town's assessing on a thumb drive. I used to
Right.
get it on a CD. My son actually did one at one time. But an Excel, someone with Excel like Libby, plug that thumb drive in and just start an Excel spreadsheet and go and look for the.
You do the what-if statements on other
Yeah,
things.
that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I'll ask her. You want me to ask her?
Sure, ask her to come up with the what-if statement. I would go back to the last 10 years.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Start with that.
She said she'd do it.
And then you can see what the incremental difference and how many lots went from cottages to a larger house and doubled the assessment.
Oh, double.
And the
Is she gonna
sewer
charge
district.
for that?
Go ahead, Dave.
Dave Carey, 30 Broadway
But
Road.
they won't be there.
If memory serves me correctly, when
She's good.
Sewer 2000 was going in, you know, what I remember from the town meeting, and part of the reason, if I recall correctly, for when Jeb was, and Jack Whippen were on the board as well, around it. The, part of the reason they went for the 60/40 at the time was because the sewer line was coming up as far as town hall, but also in addition to that, the property along 139 that was in basically too low a land to be septic systems, they basically were, a bunch of houses came online, and that was part of the reason they supported the 60/40, as I recall it from town meeting. But that's subject to check, because
Well,
that's a long
yeah.
time ago.
You're right.
The 60/40 split,
Yeah,
to stay on his idea, his 60/40 split was not just those houses.
Right.
But it was all town halls.
Right.
And it was also to allow for restaurants in the
I know,
downtown.
in the center,
that all
because they used
tied,
to
that all
be
tied in
nothing.
together. I agree.
Right,
Hardly.
because and it was really a commercial base.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a huge amount of housing built along the, what would be the southeastern side of, the southern side of, 139, as you run, down past Webster Street on down to the beach corners, I forget the name of the streets that are running in there.
Oh, Chandler Drive
Some of
area?
those places, a lot of those areas.
Well, all those have failed septic systems, they were going to the west and the south river.
Right, but there was a whole bunch of new construction that went in that same general area.
Yeah, where the drive-in was,
Yeah.
Ocean,
There and down beyond the driveway.
Arnie Gerard's property.
A number of streets
Yeah.
down there had no housing on them when you
Right.
got down past the farm.
Yeah, so,
So,
that's a good place to start.
so why, do the research on the evaluation component, the funding, but we still need to do the update of the wastewater system for the existing, and then what's coming up in the planning component to protect our water supply, and the South River.
Correct.
And being here for the last few months and watching the meetings about 40B, I think there's a lot of people out there with an appetite to have sewer expanded and upgrade
Yeah.
that aren't even on sewer yet.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
So I
because the
think-
environmental issues have changed.
I think,
Well, Kent Park has always been pushing for it.
I think it's a prime time to start advocating this.
And I think that we should hire a consultant that does this
Yeah,
for,
he's,
to
yeah.
do it. I don't expect staff to do it. John, you okay with that? You okay with that?
Well, what
After,
did you
after
say?
we
It's
talk with Libby
being,
Bates,
it's being.
then we need a consultant. for
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to.
No.
Do the research first,
Right,
figure out the dollars, and figure out some of the funding. In the meantime, we're doing RFQ,
we already
Potential
have somebody
qualification.
on the sewer
and go from there, so.
assessment plan, so we can expand off of that.
Yeah.
So those pieces are in place, we just need what you need to get.
right. I'll email Libby.
And when I met with Lynn and we talked about this, because you guys really here, talked to her about it, she didn't know that, or didn't, I don't know, she didn't seem to be able to connect with the whole idea of the school budget comes out of the budget and then the indirects are charged.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there was that. And also, she wanted to know about the plan for the wastewater treatment plant being flood resistant.
Not in the flood zone.
it's never flooded.
Not in the flood zone.
So I asked Rod about it, and he was talking about the walls around it and like, just these different ideas,
It's
I guess,
kinda-
that they have talked about.
I don't know, it's kind of.
She seemed very concerned with that.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and she wanted to know she wanted to know if there was a plan and what the plan is. So, just so you know, when we do have this meeting, hopefully, that's gonna be a question.
As long as she chips in.
Yeah,
We need,
they have to chip in.
we want to build a wall.
You can't put it any more simple than that. I mean, it can't hold its own anymore. It's just as much as has to
Yeah.
be done with the cost of everything that's going up.
There's so many different things.
Every
that
time I
have
get
to-
prices, I'm like, if I had hair, I wouldn't have any hair left.
Oh, you had 2 weeks ago.
No.
I know, when I talked to Rod last time about this, I was like, how do you sleep? With all the things that he has to think about, how do you even sleep?
Or we bounce it off each other. We
Yeah.
all sit there and just let it fly, we come up with ideas.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got next?
Well, one thing about Sue, I really did, I went to the, we were at the 40B meeting, with
At
that
the
consultant,
ZBA, yeah.
the ZBA meeting. And you know, it's like, I just don't get it. I mean, they just, I've had the sense that it's like, we're just talking to the wall.
Well, with this item on the agenda and all that's happened, like I just said, in the last few months, maybe things are meant to be. Maybe you can get what you need out of this because of all that's happened in the past. Because the sense I get is that people are very concerned about the drinking water. And if we're proposing an idea to make things a lot better around here, then maybe we should jump on board, whether you have down there or up there. It's a town asset.
It's a town asset.
Everybody has to chip in.
Everybody has to pay for the beaches, and not everyone uses them.
Restaurants and beaches.
Good, that's a good example.
And John's right, it's not gonna be able to sustain itself for
Right.
whatever
No.
much longer.
And the town would have to kick in. If we go deficit spending, then the town general fund has to kick in. And then they want their money back, we just go bankrupt.
If we had a major blowout, we would be in trouble.
Yeah. So we need
If we
something.
lose a couple of wells, we'll be in trouble
Which
too.
means we should stop spending money on stupid things like roofs that don't need to be replaced, if they don't need to be replaced.
Well, yeah,
I mean, that's, peanuts in comparison to what we're talking about. But
Well,
it's
really.
just a point, like, it's,
it's tough when you have to play catch-up. When things weren't done for so many years. And then all of a sudden, we got held back because everything's falling apart.
Yeah,
It makes it tough.
all right, let's move on.
Okay.
If you don't want,
Yep,
any last words, John?
no, I'm all set, thank you.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to accept the open meeting minutes of May 13th, 2024.
I did read
Any
them.
discussion?
Second. No, I read them, I'm all set.
I read them, thank you, Amy.
All right, make a motion, and do you have a second?
Second.
John, second.
Aye.
All in favor?
All
Aye.
right.
Make a motion to accept meeting minutes of May 20th, 2024. Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I read them, they're good.
Read 'em? Okay.
Thanks, Amy.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Now we go on to the superintendent's report.
Yes.
I just have a couple of things. Surf Ave, we finished paving on Friday. And the paving crews come in and do all the driveway aprons and whatever miscellaneous things we need to have done. And we'll be done with that. Then we'll do the line painting and so forth. Brant Rock, we're still moving on that project. We found some things in the ground that we didn't think were there.
What?
In there. Oh, pipes and castles and,
That goes back to 1950.
Castles?
yeah, it looked like a castle, it really did, it was all brick.
Did you take pictures?
Rod has them.
Oh, I'd like to see them.
Yeah. So we're still moving on that, and we have multiple drainage issues that we're trying to, since the weather's been dry, we're getting caught up on those. And I wrote down that I gotta set up an appointment for you to come down to the wastewater plant on Monday.
What did you find over at that street that you visited when it was
Nothing.
raining? Nothing?
No,
Okay.
no, it's a feud. I'm learning more and more about it.
Okay,
It's a feud that we don't need to get involved in.
okay, oh, okay.
John, what about Mayflower and Country?
So as soon as we wrap up, John, with the excavation work down at Brant Rock, they're going right over there.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, people had emailed me, I said sometime in June,
Yeah.
near the end of it, but
Yep.
it'll happen.
Those snacks that we found down at Brant Rock was a little behind, so
I saw that. I go down there every day, we drive down.
I
to
heard,
the
yeah, I
house.
heard you were down there.
No, it wasn't me with the Lexus. They said someone put a big sign up
No, I think Ken saw it.
Oh.
I saw
I
Ken
drove
on
by,
that
I
day.
It was
drove by
a-
him one day. It was
that's-
like,
No, there's a sign someone put up about the launching ramp and how it was, mix and match. It didn't happen the way it should have. And someone put a sign up, it was on Facebook, a big sheet, and said something about, oh, Bob, you always say it, the 3 Ps. Perseverance, presentation, what are the 3 Ps you always use?
What, proper planning,
That's it.
proper planning?
It prevents problems.
Produces,
So anyhow, someone put that up, and a big sign on a sheet, I think.
at the pier?
Yeah, and so I was told, they said it was someone with a white Lexus.
Oh, shit.
So,
All of a sudden, whoop!
so I said, well, I'd admit to it if I did it. I thought it was pretty
You
good.
would.
I said, I had nothing to do with that. I mean, I got 24/7 on my plate, I can't wake up.
Did-
Then they're looking to see who made the sign.
oh, I don't have.
You're giving a report, right? Or did you finish it?
I'm done.
What about Tower Ave?
I have a meeting tomorrow morning with the, I'm glad you brought that, I forgot about that. I have a meeting with the
That's yours.
consultant tomorrow morning, along with CPC and Mike Maresco.
Okay,
We have money in CPC for playgrounds, so I'm gonna have her do the inspection first, then the repairs.
okay, and then,
It should be open by end of the month.
okay. And can you mention that there are neighbors who would be willing to help if there's anything that
I
they
will,
could
but
do? If there's
it's-
anything that they could do?
Yeah, I will mention that, but everything is so documented and, I don't wanna say regimented, but everything's,
Right, I figured, but I wanted to at least tell them that you're gonna
Yeah.
ask.
we gotta get caught up on that stuff, because that's been neglected for a long time.
Oh,
The inspections and maintenance on them, so. And we're contracting all that out, because of all the certifications that are needed, I'm not putting my hands on it or anybody
oh, right,
else's.
good, okay, all right.
So, we're moving on that,
Okay, so hopefully by the end of June.
for that one.
Sounds good.
Right, that's the only one I'm getting
Okay.
questions about.
Are we ready? Next
I
meeting?
had a couple of other, so is it okay if I just,
Sure.
so, I got some pictures of, over on, I think this is Genevieve. So an issue like this, I'll just show you. They want to know if the DPW will,
Private land,
yeah, because this is coming off these people's
right.
grass, okay. You don't even need to. And then there's a couple of grates, but, she like cleaned them up, and I said, well, is the water at the top? I didn't get any pictures of the water, so I'm like, if the water's not up there, then I think it's, whatever. Okay, I think that was all I had. Thanks.
Anything else?
What was it?
I'm good.
Just grates and grass.
John, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, our next meeting is going to be June 24th, 2020,
DPW.
at 6 o'clock, right in this room. Make a motion to adjourn. Actually,
What is
there's
this?
this letter,
from
Dave
here?
Carrier, resulting to the nitrates.
Yeah, we all got it.
You all got it? Can we
Yeah.
put it in the record and send it to the, prepare a letter to the ZBA, the Board of Health? I think Roddy already did that. Has the Board of Health actually done anything with our request?
Not that I know of.
I'd be interested to know about that.
Well, didn't they say that they have no problem with the project? Is that correct?
You are
That's what I
correct.
was told,
You are correct.
which I don't get that at all, but,
Well-
That was from the director. We gotta talk to Mark McDonald on that one.
so wouldn't the board be the ones to
Yeah.
decide that?
Yeah, it was the director said that. I can't think of his
But
name.
now the ZBA closed the hearing, so can nothing be
No,
submitted?
the Board of Health still has a say.
They still, because they're still open on
They're
it.
still open on that.
So I mean, I said before, should we meet with the should we have a joint meeting with the Board of Health? Is that something that's ever done? Could we do that? Like, because maybe they just don't have a clear understanding of it.
They do, but they're going on the premises that it's not regulated. You know, they were saying that PFAS is not regulated or it's not monitored. So they're not gonna throw their arm out there,
It is
take
regulated.
a reach.
21E issue, it's regulated.
Yeah, but
On the
whether
EPA.
it's under Title V, it's not.
No,
And
But
that's-
under the
that's-
water it is, because
I understand it.
it's point.
It's still a
the
21E
4
issue.
point-
the issue is that the regulations are separate and distinct, and one hand doesn't talk to the other hand. And the issue is when this project goes through and it becomes a PFAS issue, it becomes a 21E site. And every site that's like that becomes a 21E site, and because of PFAS. So you could say, oh, it's not a Title V issue. Well, you're right, it's not a Title V issue because it's not
I'm not
regulated.
saying that.
But it is an issue from an environmental standpoint, because the responsible party who contaminates the well will be financially responsible under 21E. So either you face up to that now, or you're gonna face up to it later. One of the reasons why they propose to do the condos, and I told you this, they wanna do condos, so they can build this development. You can hear me at TV at home. They can build this development, they can put it into a homeowners association, a condo association, and then when the contamination of the wells, they're free and clear, and they got their money out of town.
Right,
And now the homeowners, the condo owners are the responsible party.
right.
Because it didn't happen under the developer's watch, which is, and this is probably too strong for TV, but that's,
I agree, Bobby.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Yep.
I think I know exactly, that's what they're gonna do. I've been saying that. You know, they're gonna disappear in the weeds. We'll
Right.
never find them.
so basically saying, oh, it's not Title V? It's true, it's not Title V yet, but DEPs and the EPA are making regulations towards the PFAS into those regulations. It's just that it's the advent, it's before Christmas. It's 4 weeks before Christmas, it's gonna be 4 weeks before the new regulations come out, but they will be coming.
How long do you,
Tell you the truth, I mean, this whole thing of trying to protect your water supply, and it's just like shoving it in yourself. No, it's very disheartening, I'll tell you.
I saw your face at the ZBA.
We've bought land, we're trying to protect it, it's like, it's a slap in our face.
Can we require a bond? Can we get any type of?
That's what I asked, but
Well,
I don't know. I don't know. I guess we had to look into that.
Well, Galvin's in charge of contracts.
they'll probably say that the bond was, go back to the housing people, is too much of a financial burden on the developer.
I did hear that the contractor wants to do things above board and up, you know, up and up, and he'll do whatever he has to do. But,
Good, put a sewer in.
well, this all
I
leads,
mean, I think
this
that
all
needs
leads
to
up
be
to
one
that.
of the discussions, is that they have a bond for, I mentioned that to you too.
A bond?
Yeah,
I'm not, I agree. I just don't know how to go about that. I don't know what we can do.
Well, we said we're gonna give a report
The report is gonna be coming the end of the week.
from the consultants.
Yes, I'd like to wait for that before we make any,
Right. We also said that we as a board can put a cover letter on that report.
right, with what conditions we would want.
And basically, the conditions that I spoke at the 40B, we should say that, including the bond in the cover letter.
Yeah.
and that's gonna be voted on by you three. And the letter has to be
Right.
put together.
Right.
So then that will be our final position.
So you, I mean, there's a handful of conditions you can put on there, like the monitoring, the testing, all those things, and then you would have a bond attached to it, like you said.
Yeah. septic system, you know, the sludge removal on a schedule.
But it's, I don't know who, I'll have to find out.
That has to go to the
I mean,
ZBA.
we should have, you know, because of Title V stuff, we should have the Board of Health, you know, work with us versus being totally silent.
Well, and the water quality thing, because, so she said that the state regulations now say it was .4 what? I don't know the letters that come after that.
It's
Of PFAS.
parts, it's 4 parts per trillion for
trillion.
PFOS and PFAS.
Okay,
All right, then there's individual chemicals, because there's a, PFOS is, there's like 48 of them.
right.
But there's regulation, there's only 6 that are actually regulated now, but the 6 can be expanded to 18, and then there's more of them. But really, the EPA ones that came up with PFAS and then PFOS.
Right.
Those are the 2 that are 4 parts per trillion, which is not a lot.
That's good.
Right, and they did say in the presentation we had here that it would go over that.
It's possible.
Right, so I think that needs to be part of our letter, but also
We need the report.
it would be really good if we sat with the Board of Health and made that clear. Because that's not Title V, but they're,
That's 21E.
but they should be aware of, you know, the potential of
You need to get
contaminating the
report
water.
First. Get the report first. They get a copy of it as well.
Right.
And then you set up the meeting.
And
Okay, yeah, we need to have a meeting because I really seriously don't think that board,
They might
like,
want-
no offense, but I don't think they know, I don't think they are that clear on this, the water quality issue. I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just feel that I haven't heard from them
well, Roger,
at any meetings or anything, like, nobody has spoken out, and I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, Mark McDonald's the chairs.
He hasn't, I mean, I haven't, you know, heard anything from any of them, so I'm very surprised by that.
You should be receptive to a meeting, unless they want to hide in the weeds and say nothing.
so I think that before we have a meeting, I think we should get the report in.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
We should establish our position,
Right,
all right, of all the points that I made at the ZBA,
yep,
the bond issue, the generator issue, the frequent
Testing and
wastewater, the sludge disposal component of each of the systems, those type of things, and list them all out. And then from there we have a meeting and say, here guys, this is our position. You need to be on board with us because, yeah, Title V doesn't have it in there yet, but 21E is already in place. And we have to meet those numbers.
Yeah.
That's
At least make one final stand on it in
Yeah,
a
with
formal
both-
manner,
yeah, I
formal
think
way.
if both boards could kind of come together on that and, you know, make a,
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the
group
Board of Health will
statement.
probably just listen to us and not do a damn thing.
well, maybe they could at least, you know, sign off on
Well, they
a
have-
dual statement.
They have elected,
You
it is
know?
our water, so.
Right, I know.
It might make a difference. They see what elections consequences happen. So, you know, you could plant that seed in their brain.
I agree.
So we
Yeah,
need to
the
have,
report
we need to have something go like this,
Yeah.
Yes,
You're right.
yeah, and then explain it.
and then
which
say,
would be
hey,
you.
huh?
And then explain to them, which would be you.
Okay, fine. All right, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Marshfield.